I was cleaning out my garage when I decided it was time to get rid of my old bike. It wasn't anything special, a little scuffed and worn, but still in decent condition. Instead of leaving it to gather more dust, I figured someone on Craigslist might take it off my hands. The ad was simple: used mountain bike, good condition, $100 or best offer. Within hours, I got a reply from a guy named Alex. His messages were polite, and he seemed genuinely interested. He asked a few questions about the bike and then offered to pick it up that evening. It seemed straightforward enough. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Alex texted me to confirm he was on his way. I gave him my address, a little hesitant but reassured by the thought that the exchange would happen outside my house. When his car pulled up, it was already dark, and the streetlights cast long, eerie shadows. Alex stepped out, a man in his late 30s with an easy smile. He seemed friendly, and I relaxed a little as we made small talk. He inspected the bike, nodded approvingly, and handed me a folded $100 bill. I thanked him and watched as he loaded the bike into the back of his car. Just as he was about to leave, he paused and turned back. "You know," he said, his voice calm but a little too casual, "this is a nice neighborhood. Do you live alone?" The question caught me off guard. I stammered, "No. My roommates are inside." He nodded, but his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. "That's good," he said. "You can never be too careful." He got into his car and drove off, but something about the interaction left me uneasy. I went back inside, locked all the doors, and tried to shake off the strange feeling. Maybe he was just making small talk. The next morning, I woke up to find a text from Alex. "Thanks for the bike. Hope you're having a good day." It felt unnecessary but harmless, so I replied politely and went about my day. Then, later that night, another text came through. "You looked nervous last night. Everything okay?" That's when the uneasiness settled into dread. I hadn't mentioned feeling nervous, so how did he know? I didn't respond, hoping he'd take the hint. But he didn't stop. Over the next few days, the messages kept coming. They started innocently enough, questions about the bike, then casual remarks about the neighborhood. But soon they became unsettling. "Do you always leave your curtains open at night?" That was the breaking point. I didn't even own the bike anymore, and yet this man had somehow turned my life into a waking nightmare. I called the police, but they told me there wasn't much they could do without a direct threat. They advised me to block his number and report any further contact. I blocked him and tried to move on, but I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every time I left the house, I scanned the street for his car. Every creak of the floorboards in the middle of the night made my heart race. Then, one night, I woke to the sound of tires crunching on the gravel driveway. I peeked out the window and saw a car idling outside, its headlights off. My stomach twisted. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, whispering to the dispatcher about the car. By the time the police arrived, the car was gone, leaving only tire tracks in the damp dirt. The officers assured me they'd patrol the area and advised me to stay alert. I never saw Alex again after that night, but the fear he left behind lingered. Selling a bike on Craigslist seemed like such a simple thing, but it turned into a reminder that even the most mundane actions can lead to terrifying encounters. Now, I double-check my locks every night and think twice before letting a stranger into my life, even for something as trivial as an old bike.